Well, good morning, everybody. This is Giles Kennedy with Crossroads OVR YouTube channel, also family and travel columnist for Columbus Wired, and of course, a volunteer for Operation Lifesaver. Today, I want to focus on not only the upcoming events that's coming up. I'm trying to get a better camera shot because the sun's coming through there, and the unknown waitress is giving me a great service here at Bouncin Bee Coffee and Tea. She's been awesome. And she's rocking a Ford's Garage hoodie. So thank you very much, dear, for doing what you do today. And Roger Bishop, he won't be in on the live stream this morning because it's going to be a little closer to 9:30. But I'm very gracious for him putting his humble, shall we say, cafe here in Croton, Ohio, up for use this morning. One thing I definitely want to go over a few things before I go over the rail safety stuff. First and foremost, we've been desperately trying to get interaction with folks, not only on the Facebook page, but on the YouTube channel and what have you. But I don't have Patreon. I don't have PayPal. I don't have any of these fancy payment things. We're here to procreate volunteerism and activism and any of the museums, model railroad clubs, historical groups that we interact with and have interacted with in the past for one simple reason. What the tagline says, all about the love of the Iron Horse, Buckeye State and beyond. And what does that mean to you? You have opportunities to actually get involved with your local model railroad club, with your local, trying to adjust the volume. Sorry, thank goodness is live. So we're working with it, folks. Just a moment. Let's try that now. Hey, that's a lot better because it looks like it's peaking a little more than not. So you can probably hear me a lot better. Anyway, these are listed on our website through the rail travel guide for the volunteers and at the model, not the model railroads, but the tourism railroads and the model railroad clubs with the Ohio Model Rail Directory. Also, we've done several profiles of other organizations, museums, and whatnot. Those links are available. Get involved. People are in a bind right now, not just in the employment world, but also in the volunteer world, where basically you're trying to grab straws for volunteers. That being said, this little card right here, I am an authorized volunteer for Operation Lifesaver. That being said, go to Ohio OLI's website to get signed up for the next class. Because if you're passionate about general railroad safety as well as railroad crossing safety, we need volunteers. We'd love to have you aboard. We'd love to have you up on board. That going to the transition. And again, I got to pull this up. My apologies. We're going to go over some quick tips and facts about railroad safety. Again, I got the links in the description right now. You can follow up with that, so on and so forth. Trains and cars simply don't mix, folks. It's a fact. The train you see is closer and faster than moving than you think. Be aware of trains that cannot stop quickly. They can't. It takes about a mile plus for a fully loaded freight train to stop. Never drive around lower gates. We see this all the time, folks. I talked with this Dan Boots Leggett last week on Honest March Radio. Everybody thinks that you got to be impatient and got to get there and so forth. We'll preview some other things here. Again, it's illegal and dangerous to do that, by the way. Do not get trapped on the tracks. Proceed through a railroad grade crossing only if you are sure you're completely clear of the crossing without stopping. If your vehicle ever stalls on the tracks, get out and get away from the tracks, even if you do not see a train. Locate the ENS number. That's a blue sign. There is a blue placard on every active crossing sign. Use that number. Use the crossing number. Get information, so on and so forth. Telling them that about this stalled vehicle. At a multiple track crossing, waiting for the train to pass, watch out for a second train on the other tracks approaching in other directions. When you do need to cross train tracks at a designated crossing, work both ways. Common sense. Without stopping. Remember, it isn't safe to stop closer than 15 feet from a rail. Now, this is something I tell a lot of rail fans, and the son's just wanting to be mean with me with this screen this morning, so we're going to be moving the screen from time to time here. OI and the Federal Railroad Administration suggests 15 to 20 feet. I always tell rail fans anywhere from 50 to 100 feet away from the main line. You don't know what kind of debris is going to be kicking up from rail cars. There may be a loose binding. There's maybe something that's coming off that train that might hit you, and you don't want to be injured out there rail fanning. That's the worst rail fan trip ever, is you getting injured by debris coming off a train. Don't be too close, guys. And as always expect a train. Freight trains do not follow set schedules, and don't even go on that whole tangent of, well, I know this train comes through this town every day, blah, blah, blah. No, that isn't the way it works. Any train can make any movement, switching, main line, you name it. Now, track safety basics. Freight trains don't always travel at fixed times. We just covered that. Schedules for passenger trains often change. Always respect the train and movement, period. All tracks are private property. I cannot drive this point home. It is privately owned by that particular railroad, whether it be a scenic railroad, whether it be regional, whether it be a class 2, whatever. And of course, the big class 1s, that's private property. You need to be mindful of that. It takes an average of the freight train, traveling 55 miles per hour, more than a mile, a length of 18 football fields, to stop. Trains cannot stop quickly. We can't stress this enough. The average locomotive weighs over 400,000 pounds or 200 tons. Even weigh up to 6,000 tons depending. This makes the weight ratio of a car to a train proportionate to a soda can to a car. So if you imagine driving over a Luna can with your car, that's basically what's going to happen with the impact on the train. Trains have the right of way 100% of the time over pedestrians and vehicles, including police and emergency vehicles. I'm going to touch on this for a minute. When I was volunteering at the 2022 Ohio State Fair last year, I spoke to 2 first responders who thought they can beat the train. The one, fortunately, basically missed it by seconds. The other was involved with a train vehicle collision in the squad, survived, thankfully, but learned his lesson the hard way. And that was just a hard lesson to learn, period. Trains overhanging tracks, like I said, stay 15 feet away. So says OI and the Federal Railroad Administration and other safety organizations. I say anywhere from 25 up to 100 feet to be on the safe side. You don't know when stuff's going to come off the tracks, come off the cars, what have you. Trains can move on any track in any direction at any time. Sometimes it's cars being pushed by locomotives instead of being pulled. The switching I spoke about earlier. Especially true in commuter and light rail passenger service. Now, we do have some light rail up in Cleveland. We have a Cincinnati streetcar service. There is existing Amtrak service, even though it's late at night. If you're out there rail fanning, you got to be careful. Trains are quieter and moving faster than anything. Only trains belong on the tracks. Today's trains are quieter than ever, producing no telltale clicky-clack. Now, on well-maintained, welded rail, that is the case. On some older train tracks, you might hear it a little more clicky-clack. Remember to tell anybody who's in a vehicle with you, keep your eyes and ears open when you're crossing that railroad crossing. No distractions. Get that coffee out of your hand. Get that phone out of your hand. Get that delicious burrito from Bouncin Bean Coffee and Tea out of your hand. Look both ways, windows down, radio down. Look, no matter what. Again, pedestrians got to cross at the designated railroad crossings. Obey warning signs and signals posted there. Stay alert around railroad tracks. I just touched on that earlier. Do not text. Do not use headphones. Do not use other distractions. Ohio is one of the toughest enforced distracted driving law states in the nation. And if you see a distracted driving sign on your part of the neck of the woods, 9 times out of 10, they're keeping an eye on that particular crossing, if not that stretch of road. So they've had problems with that in the past. Be mindful of that. Now, I want to touch on passive and active signs. I did post some links for that from the Operation Lifesaver pages. First off, you'll see a crossbutt. Second off, you see flashing lights, red lights in particular. If there's multiple tracks, you'll see 2, 3, 4, what have you. You'll have lighted gates and flashing red lights again on those lighted gates. You also see an emergency notification sign, as I spoke about earlier. And if there's a low ground clearance, I see a lot of this not only in the rural but industrial areas of Ohio. If you're low, and if you got a low boy that's too low to go across those railroad tracks, don't commit. Find another way to get around to get to your destination. That is just asking for trouble. All these things alert drivers to the presence of railroad tracks and the possibility of approaching train. These signs and devices also provide a safety message to remind the drivers of the law regarding highway rail grade crossings. What follows is a list of some of the various signs. I just went over that, so we're not going to go over that again. If you want to volunteer, again, I put in links and I put in descriptions in the description of the video today. Alan Stoddard's our state coordinator. Again, I'll post a link to his website again at the end of this video today. We need volunteers, plain and simple. Plain and simple. So just to let you know what we are here for, we're not only about promoting the historical end of railroad history. We're not only about promoting the model hobby. We're not only promoting about the rail fans. We're here promoting everything, including rail safety. And I try to drive that point home every day, no matter who I'm interacting with. It's something that's got to be mindful, because in today's society, we're easily distracted. I'm hoping you're not watching this video while you're driving right now, because that's a big no-no, and you're going to wind up getting a ticket or wind up in an accident, one of the two. That's not a good thing. So, enough of my preaching for this morning. But, of course, that portion was brought to you by Ohio Operation Lifesaver. And remember, see tracks, sync trains. Anytime is train time. So I am actually going to pull up some more happier thoughts, because we're going to go over what's been going on in the next couple of months. As of right now, I am at the Bouncin Bean Coffee and Tea Company. I'm probably not going to do the full hour for the live stream, because for me to talk on here for 20, 30 minutes, that's just pointless. That, and I got a delicious burrito waiting for me to eat. But tomorrow's the big day. We're going to be at the Fostoria Rail Festival. We got a fully manned Operation Lifesaver table. There's dozens of model railroad clubs there running modulars and layouts. There's vendors. There's also community-minded vendors there promoting Fostoria. Going to be there. I will be at the Rail Festival from 10 to 2. And then from 2:30 to 5:30, we'll have a similar setup at the Railpark, like I'm here right now. Now, coming up Sunday, October 8th, at the Powell, Liberty Township open house, myself and Connie Logan will be there, and we'll be helping out OI. I need to get a cup of coffee here. And this is good coffee, by the way. Holy cats, yeah. That was delicious, by the way. Myself and Connie Logan will be there from 1 to 4 p.m. And again, that's Sunday, October 8th. That is 10150 Sawmill Parkway, Powell, Ohio, just north of 270, west of Old Town Powell, east of the zoo. Our table will be featuring OLI swag and info for visitors. Liberty Township firefighters and EMS will be giving tours and other activities of the firehouse. Liberty Township lies on the north central part of CSX Columbus Line subdivision, with crossings at Home Road and only changing Street in Powell. Afterwards, if visitors wish to visit the Village Square near Old Town Street near the main line, I'll be glad to come along, give some more pointers on rail crossing safety, and we love the rail fam with you. A big thing that I'm going to be doing mid-October, that's going to be Saturday, October 21st. I will be researching what true intercity travel has to offer and how it works. Be traveling on the Wolverine, be departing 7:51 a.m. from Jackson, Michigan, and to Chicago Union Station. And again, these times are going to be updated because it's Central Time in Chicago. We'll be departing 2:15 from Chicago, 1:15 Eastern Standard Time. I will be on coach going to Chicago. I'll be on business class going back to Jackson. If you book Amtrak, just message me ahead of time. If you're going to go along on that trip, I'd love to interview you there. You're responsible for all meals, etc., so on and so forth. But if you are along for that ride, I'd be glad to interview. Another big event coming up in November. That is going to be the first Saturday and Sunday of November, the 4th and 5th. Dayton Train Show is celebrating 47 years of fun at one of the oldest and largest model railroad shows in the Midwest. Multiple scale operations, as well as historical societies, displays, and hundreds of dealer tables, stop and learn stations, a train for the kids to ride, weather permitting. Admission is going to be $8 for that. Children 12 years and under are free with paid adult. As the site coordinator for the volunteers, I'll be working the table for OI. When I have it properly manned, I'll actually be going around helping out MRI Division 3 with other show functions. But again, you can go to the links that I put in the description, take it from there. Again, that's about all I got. And I'll be talking more when I'm up at the Rail Festival as well as the Railpark tomorrow afternoon. Click on the links for information. Again, thanks so much. Have a great day.